Hello viewers, we coming to you live from our main studio in Bakau, the Gambia. This is N24 News and I am your presenter Sukai Jarjusey. Coming up in the next minutes, flower sellers lament low sale as COVID-19 continues. The Gambia government has explained its deportation agreement with EU as they speak out. In sports, Israel Adesanya outpoints Robert Wheater in a middleweight title rematch. On the international front, UN says food aid is running out. These and more to feature in our today's bulletin. Stay tuned. And we start the bulletin with flowers. Beside adding color texture among others are source of income to many who engage into it in the Gambia. These people take us through the challenges they are facing in the business. Here is our reporter Usainu Sabali with the details of the sector.
Flowers, besides adding colors, texture, and biodiversity to gardens and ecosystems, flowers are botanically important structure and essential sources of food for many organisms. Flowers have an important way of attracting pollinators to a plant, which is necessary in order for the plant to produce seeds. Aside seed production structures that allow a species to exist generation after generation, flowers also protect seeds as they develop. Omar Jallo, a flower gardener, said flowers are very important in people's life, saying it beautifies the environment and provides seeds and fruits.
Important si tawi woni en alano dum alano kay liggede do si andi sen sokolino dum ko ma yalten yahen dabboyen leydele godde hatta ana ha hande eno liggede do kono no heddi sab flowaji goddino do ko maabe immodo be ya ha Dakar pour dabboyde dum a fami kono non si be hebi ka anduda place no wadi fixe e be holi ande be wawi yaade dabboya marchandise o adda joddina dum kono hadata be addoyde bagage kewdo be joddina joni sa ittoy kalisima kewdo aya sodoy bagage a addi a joddini hande jango tam jommum ari wiima ya immo ko kanyu sowli place mungo joni sa immima to faadata e bagage ma andi on don wondata ko yakade.
Umar further explained the challenges he faces as a flower gardener. He said the coronavirus pandemic hits the business hard as tourists who visit the Gambia are no more coming.
Min ko mi wondo e jangude do addatam mi do ko wallude jinnaado ango ko dum addatam mi do wallondirde e makko sabu menen fof ko do woni ko men suti ko dum addatam mi do pour men wallondira kono jamanuuji di mi janginta di dum mi hebata ardega hande non ko alkamisa won aljuma mi janginda mi heba ardetam mi wallito mo hem kanko kadi o waawa foftade seeda joni comme jamanuuji bennudi honno business o dogirayno kanko buri mi famde dum kanko buri mi famde dum kono non e jamanuuji di mi arta do di e bila corona o bi mana natti dum wona wiide haray ko kambe yeyobe affaire flower tam wona kambe tan dum tuusi ko leydi ni fof wona non leydi Gambia tam ko adna o fof alamo o fof woni ko dum tuusi corona o e dum non wona sababu tardude business.
About 90% of plant species produce flowers. Flowers are essential productive structure of angiosperms and important food sources for many insects and animals. Studies have shown that flowers impact happiness, help connect people, and increase feelings of kindness and compassion. Flowers also have been valued by humans for a variety of reasons. Plants that make flowers are called angiosperms, and they are a group that has evolved to encompass a wider range of diversity in size, form, and color. Reporting for N24 News, I am Usainu Sabali.
The Minister for Interior, Yankuba Sonko, told lawmakers that government had signed a good practice document with the European Union in 2017 to repatriate Gambians who failed in their asylum applications. It is the first time a senior government official publicly admitted to such a deal. In October 2021, the government, in a statement issued by the spokesperson, denied signing any agreement with the EU or its member states to deport its citizens after coming under severe criticism for agreeing to such a deportation deal. but responding to questions from the members of the National Assembly Standing Committee on Foreign Affairs chaired by Sadio Mane on government's response to the situation of Gambians deported or waiting to be deported from Germany, Minister Sonko acknowledged that the government had signed an agreement with EU and certain good practices were identified in the repatriation process. Minister Sonko said the government didn't establish the number and magnitude of Gambians who failed in their asylum applications in Europe. Electricity used by all Gambians to do various walks of life has now become a problem for many who depend on it for their daily earnings and source of income. The Gambia has seen an unstable supply of electricity, leading to these people telling us the challenges they're facing. Maimuna Dari tells us more in this report.
Electricity, which is used by almost all Gambians, especially those that are living in the urban areas. Residents of the Gambia are currently holding the government accountable for the unstable supply of electricity. Ahmad is a tailor who does his tailoring at Westfield, said he is facing a lot of difficulties when it comes to electricity.
daf lay andi jafe-jafe bu mag suñ diggante ak suñ customers te nekkul tamit loo xamante ni daf ñu gënal because ñun moom normally su lawee sa ñëw jël si ko tey soo ñëwee da nga fekk ñëw bi pare so suñ demee léegi nag di dunda jafe-jafe boobu noonu daf ñu disturb daal après du nekk loo xamante ni lu ñu neex la suñ sañoon képp koo xamante ni wax nañ la jël si sa ñëw tey da ngaa ñëw fekk mu pare although ñu ngi ko def sax but def ñu lay jox a difficult time pour ñu mun a maintain loolu daal because nawet on and off si demee tey balaa ñëwaat dem on and off yooyu noonu xam nga mu ngi ñuy disturb daal te mu ngi ñuy sonal a lot.
Aliou Badou Dieng is also a tailor and has this to say about the electricity problem.
waaw courant bi moom on and off bi moom métti na si waxuma teelu yi rek sax waaye métti na si képp koo xam ne yaa ngi liggéey si fi courant ndax liggéey ci courant képp koo xam si courant nga yaakaar daal maanaam di ko liggéeyee soo ko amul ni nga ko war a amee rek dina la jural ay jafe-jafe yoo xam ne yow doo mun a xam sax ndax nga ko réglé ndax yaa ngi war a joxe dépasse ñawi jàmbur yaa ngi jël ku nekk yaa ngi ko jox appointment léegi pour nga jox client sax appointment nga am ko correct dafa nekk problème danga ko dee jox bés mu ñëw si bés bi sax andi la problème soo ko expliqué ko li fi laaj bi mu ne teelu yi laaj bi la gars yi dee layee loolu rek ñun dañu métti ñun teelu yi te xam nga suñu sañoon daal mën nañ ko am ni ñu ko buggee daal ndax comme Gambia léegi war na romba léegi leebul boo xam ne nii courant dafa nekk di off ñu ko xaar war na romba foofu at least waaw suñ ngi ñaan nag suñ papa suñ président bi ñu koy ñaan ñu ci mën a dimbalee rek mu dimbale ñu ci daal.
Iliman Seka, working as a printer, said they face hard time as customers are on their necks asking for their books which are delayed.
System on and off bi bari na trop loolu daf di affect suñu liggéey bi trop because yaa ngi gis am na yeneen books yoo xamante ni seen borom yaa ngi ko yaakamti ba pare tam nag waroon na moo pare i weeks back wante ba léegi ñu ngi si kawam exemple book bii nii ñu ngi ko jox lay contract boo xamante ni boromam mu ngi ko uvala yaakamti customers am ñu ngi taxaw moom book sob la dee job so waaye all the time dañ ko dee promise ëllëg gannaaw waaye because of courant bi ñun loolu daf ñu dee make sax ñu nekk di fenal koog noonu ba kooku mënatu ñu trust daf dee tax ñu lose yeneen customers yi sax because ñoom dañ dee téene ñun luñ dee wax du dee am because te duñ dee understand ne mbiri courant la because doo dee believe ne ñoom ñu ngi yóbbee nii courant all the time te fekkee ne reality bi loolu la gars yi ngay yóbbee nii courant bi fii dañ dee ñeneen ñi dañ dee bugg a uti job sax ñëw pour photocopie seen documents yi pour ros war a uti job war a dem yóbbu seen yeneen documents seen CVs yi but then leet bi day fail gars da ngaa gis ne gars yi duñ mën a photocopie seen documents yi sax.
Mohammed, who is also a carpenter, said the electricity is causing problems between them and their customers.
bari ndax boo xoolee dañ ci am problème surtout client yi ndax duñ la understand ndax koo ci wax ne Saturday di nga jot sa liggéey nga toog ñaari Saturday gisoo ko day ñëw andi la problème da nga mën a fen ay waxoo dëgg affaire yooyu noonu te liggéey bi courant bi mooy liggéey bi ndax boo gisee mu ut bagage yi di génn ñàkk courant la ndax lii boo wi raboté tey te courant mi ngi tàkk ngay pileen da lay dimbale ci liggéey bi ci lu bari courant bi mu ngi nii dem na soo ba léegi amuñ courant dañuy sonn trop war nañ ci mën a jàppale courant bi du ñëw comme nu mu waree ndax ñu suñu liggéey mën a gaaw te borom njaboot lañ boo war a fay luyaas fay place bi dund te yaakaaroo ko lu ci courant bi ñëw da ngay am problème waaw métti laa la ñuy dund fii daal soxna si.
These people are urging the government to help them by tackling the issues. Electricity issue continues to be a problem in the urban Gambia as the providers say they have technical issues. Reporting for N24, I am Maimuna Dare.
In sports, in the world of UFC middleweight champion Israel Adesanya retained by his title against former champion Robert Whittaker by unanimous decision in Houston, New Zealand-based Nigerian Israel previously knocked out Whittaker in the second round at UFC 243 in October 2019 to capture the undisputed middleweight title in Marlborough. But in Saturday's rematch at UFC 271 in Texas, Whittaker fought to a much more conservative game plan which kept him in the contest all the way to the judges' scorecards. After their tightly contested title bout at the Toyota Center went to the distance, all three judges were in agreement on the victor, and Adesanya was awarded the unanimous decision with scores of 48, 47, 48, 47, 49 and 46. Sadio Mane, after winning Senegal the Maiden Nations Cup, is said to be honored by the country as they are set to name a stadium after him. Mane, the Liverpool forward, missed a sport kick to give Senegal the lead in the AFCON final. Here is more of the details by Parfumus Courier.
Sadio Mane is to have a stadium named after him in the southwestern city of Sedo after helping Senegal to their maiden continental success. The Liverpool forward scored the winning penalty as the Teranga Lions beat Egypt 4-2 on post-match penalty shootout to clinch their first ever Africa Cup of Nations. After the game ended goalless following extra time, his 3 goals and 2 assists for the West African nation earned him the Most Valuable Player MVP award, and now the mayor of Sedo, Abdoulaye Diop, says the region's football stadium will be named after its favorite son. Mane, who won the heart of millions following charitable acts in his hometown by pleading money to building a hospital and school, contributing to constructing mosques and providing funds to aid the fight against COVID-19. Before the Champions League final back in May 2018, he gifted Liverpool shirts to locals in his hometown of Bambali so they could wear them during the game. Bambali is where Mane watched Liverpool's famous comeback against AC Milan to win the 2005 Champions League final at the age of 13, and his home is never far from his mind. From French club Metz to Liverpool via Austria, RB Salzburg and Southampton, Mane has come a long way to being recognized as one of the finest players in the world. Winner of the English Premier League and the Champions League with Liverpool, the reigning African Footballer of the Year was keen to bring a prestigious trophy to Senegal. And after his team's success in Cameroon, Mane said winning Senegal's first Africa Cup of Nations is the highest of his career.
And away from the AFCON and the latest happenings of sports, let's now look at the latest of the internationals. The UN World Food Programme has warned that its operations in northern Ethiopia are about to grind to a halt due to intense fighting blocking the passage of fuel and food. No aid trucks have made it into the Tigray region for a month now, and the WFP says supplies are running out. Shortages in healthcare centers and hospitals are particularly acute, with access to medical supplies severely restricted for many months. More than 90% of the population in the region is in urgent need of humanitarian assistance, according to UN estimates. Movement of aid along this route has frequently been affected both by fighting and subsequent delays. The international relief operation is also facing severe financial constraints. The UN estimated that it needs about $1.2 in additional funding for its humanitarian response in northern Ethiopia. The WFP says it is likely to run out of food and nutrition supplies across all of Ethiopia from February due to an unprecedented lack of funding, it says. Ukraine has called for a meeting with Russia and other members of a key European security group over the escalating tensions at the border. Former Minister Dmytro Kuleba said Russia had ignored former requests to explain the build-up of troops. Here is more of the details.
Kuleba said the next step was requesting a meeting within the next 48 hours for transparency about Russia's plans. Russia has denied any plans to invade Ukraine, despite the build-up of some 100,000 soldiers on Ukraine's borders, but with the US saying Moscow could begin with aerial bombardments at any time. More than a dozen nations have urged their citizens to leave Ukraine. Ukraine's ambassador in London, Vadim Raisiko, has backtracked on comments he made to the BBC in which he said Ukraine was willing to be flexible on its ambition to join NATO, which would have been a major concession to Russia. On Sunday, he spoke for nearly an hour by phone with US President Joe Biden. The White House said President Biden had reiterated US support for Ukraine and that both leaders had agreed on the importance of continuing to pursue diplomacy and deterrence. Ukraine's statement of the call said its president had thanked the US for its unwavering support and that, at the end, President Zelensky had invited the US leader to come to Ukraine. There has been no comment on the invite from the White House. An hour-long call between President Biden and Russian leader Vladimir Putin the day before failed to yield a breakthrough. In the latest attempt to find a diplomatic solution, German Chancellor Olaf Scholz has meetings scheduled with President Zelensky in Kyiv later on Monday and with President Putin in Moscow on Tuesday. The Chancellor, who took over the leadership of Germany from Angela Merkel in December, has warned of severe economic consequences for Russia if it should launch any invasion, echoing statements by other Western nations and members of the NATO military alliance. But Berlin officials have downplayed any expectation of a breakthrough. Meanwhile, UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson plans to hold fresh diplomatic talks across Europe to bring Russia back from the brink of war.
Viewers, I'm afraid that's all the time we have in today's bulletin. Stay tuned to your favorite N24 radio and television.